Listen, you're an inconsistent golfer. At some point, somebody's told you that you have to shallow the club in transition for you to be more consistent. That is correct. But manipulating the club into that position is incorrect. The best players in the world do shallow the golf club, but it's not the way that you would think. I'm going to show you how the best players in the world do it so that you don't have to create a manipulation and you can be more consistent the next time you go to the golf course. Now, most people think that shallowing the golf club is coming from hand movement, wrist movement, trail arm movement, and then even a little rotation of the body. But really what's happening with the best players in the world, they are using pressure shifts to help them create a shallowing of the golf swing or a shallowing of the club in transition. Now, what we want to understand here is the concept: force precedes motion. What I have here is 2 drills that are going to help you better understand how our force is going to precede our motion so that you can then get the club to shallow out every time without manipulation. Now, that first concept, force precedes motion. Anytime I do anything, I'm creating a force in the ground or a force in a golf club or a force in a baseball bat, whatever it is, right? Whatever force I create, I am then creating a motion accordingly to said force. So what we want to understand here is how are the tour players creating the proper force to allow the golf club to shallow so that it's not done through manipulation. So what I have here for drill number 1 is a wedge and a force pedal. Now, if you don't have a force pedal, I would take a washcloth, wet it, wring it out so it's damp, not soaking wet, fold it up twice, and put it underneath your lead foot. I would suggest, again, putting your shoe back on, but that's totally up to you. So we're going to take the wedge. It's going to go on the outside part of our trail foot. It's going to give us something to push off of. Then we're going to have the force pedal underneath the ball of the lead foot to give us something to feel like we're pushing down into. So force precedes motion. So assuming that my pivot is a nice centered pivot, by definition, a centered pivot is going to be 80% pressure in my trail side, 20% in my lead, and then in transition, I'm going to move back over into my lead side. So how's this going to work? I have the wedge underneath the trail foot, force pedal underneath the lead foot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to feel like I load up into the inside part of my trail foot, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to push into my lead foot, and you'll notice that as I do that, my arms start to fall slightly, my wrist angles stay the same, my trail arm starts to rotate externally inward, and now what's happening? That club is shallowing out. So now once I have the pressure over into that force pedal or that washcloth, then I can kick my left leg back, my lead leg, my chest, can play catch up. Now every single time that I do that, the club is going to be coming from a shallowed inside to out path. So I do some slow ones at first, some freezers, just to create a nice feel. So you can see my body is shifting down and forward. So I'm creating a force, and that force is creating a motion for the club to shallow out. And I can finish, once I get pressure into that force pedal or that washcloth, I can then let that left leg clear out of the way, my chest plays catch up, nice shallowed out, inside to out path. So now let's say I've done a handful of each one of those. Freezer, then one motion, slow motion. Then I start to move the objects away, and I start to do some little slower ones at first, trying to feel like I recreate that motion. Load it up, push, and then clear. Right? Again, we look at the replay there. That club is going to be shallowed out, coming from the inside every single time. And as I get more comfortable with it, I can start to add more and more speed to it until I get to a full speed motion. Now again, this club is shallowing out every single time, not through manipulation, but through force preceding the motion. Now, if you're looking at me and thinking I'm crazy, you don't have a force pedal, you don't have a wedge, that's okay. You're still trying to manipulate that club in transition to shallow it out. I've got drill number 2 that's going to help us create that feeling with just an alignment stick. Proper force preceding motion with an alignment stick. So here we go. So for drill number 2, like I mentioned, we just need an alignment stick. I'm going to take that alignment stick. I've got my Titleist alignment stick here. It's on the ground. I'm going to step on this alignment stick right on my midfoot, so right where I'm tying my shoes. I'm going to, again, get up to the top of my backswing, feeling like I'm nice centered with my pivot. Again, centered by definition is 80% over into my trail side. And then from here, what I'm going to do is push off my trail foot. I'm going to feel like I'm like getting my belt buckle to push along, almost run parallel to the alignment stick on the ground until I get the pressure over into the ball of my lead foot. So now I get the club up to the top of the backswing, load it up, feel like my belt buckle is running parallel to the stick on the ground until I'm in my lead foot. Then from there, lead leg pulls back and chest clears out of the way. So you'll notice again on the replay, that club is coming in shallower from the inside and not through manipulation. So just like we did on the other drill, we get set up properly. We do some slow ones. We do our little freezers first, just to help our brain process the concept. Again, on replay, that club's coming from the inside. And this one you can hit shots on. Right? I wouldn't necessarily hit full shots with the wedge and the force pedal, like full speed, right? I'd go up to probably about 60, 70, maybe 80% speed. But with this exercise here, you can go all out if you want. So I've worked my way up to this. I'm loading it up. I'm going to feel that belt buckle slide along shift along the alignment stick. Pressure gets into my left foot. Then I can clear it and let that chest catch up. So here we go. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, I'm not quite sure if I'm creating through manipulation or through proper pressure shifts, please use the Skillest link below. Click that link, go to the free YouTube analysis, and upload a video. I'll take a look, I'll give you a detailed analysis, I'll send it back to you, I'll give you a drill or two to work on to help you create the proper force so that we can get the club to create the proper motion of shallowing out in the downswing. This way, you have something that is targeted, more specific for you, and is going to allow you to be more consistent the next time you go to the golf course. Now remember, the goal here is not to force the positions. The goal here is to create a proper pressure shift in the downswing so that our force precedes motion. So there's no manipulation to shallowing out that golf club. I promise if you do these two exercises, next time you go to the golf course, you're going to start to be more consistent because you're shallowing the club through force and not manipulation. Again, I'm Nick Bova, the king of consistency. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.